Hello. Shout out to all of our PeaceNet people. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. So, you remember, I've been sharing about True Mother's words to the leaders at the Chanjangung on April 26th. I've already shared a couple of messages about this, so I'm continuing now with her words. I got to the point of sharing about Mother's desire that we live lives like sunflowers oriented towards True Mother every day, and that we can record our lives joyfully, daily substance for the sake of advancing heaven's will substantially. And she wanted us to use this famous brand Mont Blanc pen in our journals to record our daily lives. So the last words Mother shared that I mentioned in the last message was, I'm not going to give you the Mont Blanc pens because I'm saying you're insufficient, but I'm saying I have hope in you. Mont Blanc. But I need to share an explanation. I like the Mont Blanc pens because I like the name. So actually, the pen is a really good quality, but the reason she likes the pen is because of the name, Mont Blanc. Again, that means white mountain. And you can see the logo is on the tip of the pen. And what does that look like? It's a snow-capped mountain, right? Snow-capped mountain, like the Alps, right? Okay, so Mother continues in that kind of calm, steady voice. She says, in 247 BC, I believe it's 218 BC, but anyway, she mentioned a couple of hundred years before Christ, there was a general named Hannibal, and he crossed the Alps from North Africa. So you can actually research about Hannibal. He went from Africa through Europe, right? He went through and around Europe and over the Alps and down into Italy. So he crossed the Alps from North Africa. You guys may have heard it in history. In those days, how did he cross over the Alps covered with snow, on horseback thousands of years ago? He actually came with elephants as well, like hundreds of elephants. And Mother's saying, how is that possible? It's a miracle. I don't know what kind of hopes and dreams he had, but he crossed all the way from his country in North Africa. Mother goes on to say, however, they, meaning Christianity, didn't take responsibility. Their decline was inevitable. Before the providence of heaven, they should not have let Jesus be crucified. So I asked to prepare Mont Blanc pens. Since I'm giving them to you, you need to faithfully and honestly record your lives until the end of your life on earth. Change of spirit, joy and hope and everything. Okay, so, all right, sometimes Mother, frankly, does not complete, or at least the translation doesn't come through as complete sentences. She starts on a certain phrase and then she kind of comes and concludes it from another angle. So what I understand from these words, again, thinking of everything I've shared so far that Mother said on this day, she's talking again about Christianity didn't take responsibility. Remember, Christianity didn't take responsibility at the time of True Parents' Holy Wedding. It was supposed to be different. There wasn't supposed to be all of this wilderness course. There wasn't supposed to be all of this hidden suffering. There wasn't supposed to be the last 7 years of us getting confused about only begotten daughter. None of those confusions were supposed to take place. Now she's reminding us here of the parallel 2,000 years ago, when the people of the time should not, when she means Christianity, she may have been, even actually it's my words, Christianity. She's talking about the people chosen around Jesus at the time. So they should not have let Jesus be crucified. So now we're talking about the Jewish foundation, right? The Hebrews. They should not have let Jesus go the way of the cross. Now, we know this in our faith, in the unification faith, we understand this, and we're not blaming or antagonizing our brothers. We stand on the Judeo-Christian foundation. We're grateful to all those who have furthered the will of God. But since the beginning of time, let's be honest, since the Adam and Eve story, there have been countless setbacks, countless mistakes. And we're not really studying the mistakes of people over there. We're not, when we study the principle, we're not studying the mistakes of people like Genghis Khan or others. We're studying the mistakes of the chosen people, the people who were, centrally chosen to advance the will of heaven at that point, centrally, not peripherally. And so at this time, Mother's reminding us that they were not supposed to allow Jesus to go to the cross. So I asked to prepare Mont Blanc pens, and since I'm giving them to you. So in other words, she's kind of juxtaposing. Okay, what is she saying? I believe she's saying, look, you are the ones chosen at this time to understand and to attend. You are the ones. So look, 2,000 years ago, they didn't quite understand everything. They didn't get it right. Even, 61 years ago, they didn't get it right? And even the last 7 years, we didn't quite necessarily get it right. I believe these are sort of mothers drawing these parallels, kind of hinting at this repetition of failures and sort of warning us, but also blessing us with her confidence. I have hope in you, and that, with full of change your spirit and joy, full of joy and hope and everything, she said. So then Mother goes on, Christianity started by the apostles after Jesus went the way of the cross, right? So, Christianity wasn't a thing until after Jesus died. It was several decades after it became sort of Christianity, and it was really initiated by the apostles. You should write down about your lives honestly in your diaries about your journey towards the completion of the heavenly providence with True Mother, the only begotten daughter, in the area of Chonilguk. There should be no lies. Don't use words that you can feel guilty about, okay? So Mother is giving us these pens to write down the journey of our lives towards the completion of the heavenly providence with True Mother, centering on the only begotten daughter, joyfully, spiritfully, full of hope. But don't use words that you can feel guilty about, okay? That was when she handed out the pens. I'm sorry, I don't have the bag here. It was a bag, and inside there was a box, and inside the box there was an inscription. Oh, I should really show you, I'm sorry. But anyway, you know what? Let me show you. Wait right here. So sorry. So bad. I'm sorry. Okay. There was a bag, and inside the bag was this box, Mont Blanc. And this is a standard box from the pen company. And you get your service guide, and you get your box, and then the box opens. So inside the box, this is what we saw. So we open the box, and then inside, look at that, there's Mont Blanc, but then Mother took the time to prepare this special card with a Chunjungung logo, and on the other side it says, "May Heavenly Parent and True Parent's love and blessings be with you always," in Korean and English. And then it says Hanakja, Mother's signature. So I've kept the box, of course, that's why it was in my bag. But that's the point at which they handed out the pens, right after Mother said, look, it's kind of like she's reminding us of the apostles who, everything from Christianity came down from what they were the stories they were able to share, and the letters they were writing, and the words that they were recording. And so she's drawing this parallel to say, look, That's how valuable we are. And this isn't just the leaders. This is how valuable you are as a blessed family, and how lucky we are to know in our lifetime true parents. But mothers appealing to us, and this is not just a message for leaders, this is really for us all, that we are those chosen, gifted, and blessed to be able to orient our joyful hearts and joyful activities for the providence towards true mother, like a loyal sunflower, like a beautiful sunflower, and record. I mean, in terms of history, you'll be recognized as titans of history, the forefathers and foremothers of history. No matter how small you think you are massive. You are big if you're alive at this time and you have the opportunity to meet and know about true parents, to receive the blessing. It's huge. So I believe this is definitely a message we should all take to heart. You know, Christianity started by the apostles after Jesus, right? She said. So you should also write down your lives honestly in your diaries. And she has given us this pen to do so. There should be no lies. She said, no lies. So don't use words that you can feel guilty about. It's another way of saying, lead heavenly, joyful lives, fulfilling your responsibility for the sake of heavenly providence, and don't do anything you'll regret. But this sort of substantial gift was given to us at that point. It was so beautiful. So let me share the last and final paragraph of Mother's message that morning. She said, you probably didn't know why I asked to prepare Mont Blanc pens. You need to think about what percentage of your efforts and fruits have been harvested for the completion of the providence of heaven, which will remain in history and remain for future generations. You have to work with the heart as if one day is equal to 1,000 years. Do you understand? Let's stop talking at length. Now, share some testimonies about what I said at the blessing ceremony yesterday. So that is how True Mother ended her words. Okay? So again, just a quick recap. She reminded us about the holy wedding and how it really should have been celebrated all over the world. She reminded us about the failure of Christianity at that time to understand who true parents were, and therefore they had to build in a really quite miserable environment from the ground up. And there's no one who can possibly understand what true parents went through, what heaven was feeling. Only God knows, only heaven and true parents know. And then she was reminding us that really the wilderness course, and this is the first time I'd ever heard it, but our wilderness course, according to Mother, really goes all the way up into Foundation Day. And then after Foundation Day, that too, again, kind of like the Holy Wedding, that should have been a day when, again, everybody knew. But again, Mother advanced the providence during that last 7 years, and certainly we all helped her, but we were still ignorant at many levels as to really who she was and what she was doing and why. So we may have prolonged even the providence. Certainly Mother wants us to be new wineskins. We were supposed to be new wineskins then. Let us make sure we're new wineskins now. Let us make sure we're really open to receiving the heavenly grace and wisdom and orienting our hearts towards True Mother like loyal, beautiful sunflowers. Remember, Mother is substantial. She's not a representative. She is the substantial heaven in our midst. And she's proclaimed the settlement era of Chonmulguk. And now we are here to settle it. So how? Chombo. So for those of you that haven't yet signed up for the Chombo Challenge pre-registration, we're still working together with the leaders to iron out some of the details. But we're going to be opening the full registration up soon. I think we're maybe up to about 100 members already who are interested in the Chombo Challenge. I think you should all be interested in the Chombo Challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, we're all going the course of Chombo, and we have to expand the environment to get 7.8 billion people. But it's not just you, the wife, or you, the husband. It's together as a couple, together with your children and even your grandchildren, or your parents, brothers and sisters. It's a family affair. It's a multi-generational affair. Mother's building the Chonmonggung, and this is going to be the place where really all of humanity will come to meet God substantially. And it's looking beautiful, by the way. They've got the big pillars up already. It's really amazing. And then really Mother's honing in on this point about Mont Blanc, we need to kind of have the mind that even Hannibal had to achieve the impossible, to overcome the highest peak in the coldest weather with total commitment and belief and joy and spirit, to know that where we're going, we will accomplish. And Hannibal was incredible that way. He accomplished the impossible. I think probably he defeated many Roman armies because not just of some superior physical strength, but internal strength. I think the Roman armies were probably scared to think that this army had traveled so far, such a ludicrously long way, and a difficult route with elephants and everything's not simple. So we need to have, in other words, we need to be internally so kind of committed and so confident and knowing where we're going that when you do stand in front of that person, when you do stand in front of that John the Baptist, or when you standing there, and you're challenging a new foundation, actually you should stand there on the precipice of that new foundation with the internal strength of knowing that you will accomplish it, of knowing that you will overcome any challenge, of knowing that heaven is on your side, and knowing that you are, because you're oriented towards, overcoming those challenges centered on True Mother, you're able to overcome anything. In fact, your opponent or the naysayers around you, they will be weakened just in your presence. Do you know what I mean? That's, I believe, what the kind of hints that Mother's giving us through this story about Mont Blanc and Hannibal and this pen. That's how she sews it all together. So Mother really wants us to not repeat the mistakes of the past, to really go forward, totally united, and to remember that we're recording our days anyway. Whether we write it down or not, you're recording it anyway, but she does want us to write it down. Maybe these videos will be recorded anyway. She does want us to write it down because we are those who are with True Parents now, really telling the story for all of humanity to come. Yes. That's why I try pay as much attention to the details as possible, because you can't possibly record and capture everything. So I just try to capture what I can. And I hope I've been able to convey over these last few messages during these PeaceNet sessions a little bit of the heart. There are some more words that I might share later, but right now this concludes this was a total of 3 separate videos that I made concluding the entirety of the words that Mother gave in the morning of April 26th, 2001. And actually, I should remind you that this was the same meeting that Mother then concluded with the 70 holy items, the 70 garments gift to Asia Pacific 1. So it's interesting, actually. Her speech at the beginning was as long as her speech at the end. And her tone at the beginning, although she kind of softened off a bit when she was giving us the gift, her tone at the beginning was a little bit more kind of, like a mother, the mother that's kind of reminding the kids, but the tone that she offered us for your sake, Asia Pacific 1 members, the tone that she offered at the end of the meeting was really, in fact, maybe I'll play the recording for you sometime in the Korean, at least a little bit, because her voice was like, 네, hello, no. It's like this kind of soft and loving and like really encouraging. Honestly, when I'm in front of True Mother, I feel like a kid. I think I know I look like a child. I behave like a child. So anyway, maybe that's right? Because she's our True Mother. So I felt really she was speaking, as the representative of Asia Pacific 1, she was speaking as if we really are a loyal child and really comfortingly. So yeah, I hope you can feel still the vibration of that blessing. It's for all of us. And I hope you've been able to get something out of these words that I've shared. Again, none of this is an official transcript or an official, that's why I haven't made a PowerPoint out of it or anything, but I've conveyed every single word that I heard that I could record for you. And I've given you my insight and my heart around it, along with trying to explain the environment internally and externally. So I really want you to feel like you were there. I hope you could get something out of this. Again, peace to all of our PeaceNet tribe. God bless you and see you at the next one. Have a great rest of the session and a great day.